Chosen one, listen closely. What I'm about to reveal is not for the faint of heart. God is sounding the alarm. Total war is expected, and there is no middle ground. You either vanish into the shadows, or you stand and fight. Right now, the battlefield is set, and your moment has arrived. If you're watching this, it's not by chance. It's divine timing. God has brought you here because a fierce spiritual war is unfolding, and you are called to rise. The days of waiting are over. The time to act is now. This is more than a warning, it's a call to arms. Your prayers, your faith, your very soul are about to be tested in ways you never imagined. But here's the truth. Victory belongs to those who refuse to back down. Those who embrace the fight with unwavering courage will emerge transformed, powerful, unstoppable. Before we dive deeper into this life-forward message, I need you to do 3 things. Pause this video and hit that like button. Subscribe to join the army of 1,000 warriors, and drop the number 99 in the comments. This number sends a battle cry to the universe, igniting the energy that will protect and empower you in the fight ahead. If you are truly a chosen one, your spirit will not turn away now. You'll watch this until the end, ready to claim your destiny. But if your heart hesitates, if fear grips you, maybe this isn't your time. For those who stand firm, your life will never be the same. The war is here. The call is clear. Now let's get into it. God is saying to you now, look around. This world isn't just confused, it's under siege. Depression is rising. Families are crumbling. Identities are twisted. Truth is mocked. And everything sacred is being trampled. That's not random. That's war. But most people think this is normal. They scroll their phones while their spirits starve. They binge Netflix while demons dance freely through society. Spiritually, they're snoring and Satan is thrilled, but not you. Something in you won't sit still. You feel it when you wake up, that unrest, that awareness. Like you're living in a world where something invisible is pulling the strings. You can't explain it to everyone, but deep down, you know, this isn't just life, it's a battle. Your anxiety wasn't just emotional. Your silence wasn't just social. That pressure, that was spiritual warfare pressing down on your soul. You are awake for a reason, because God needs warriors, not watchers, soldiers, not spectators. You've been stirred not to fear, but to fight. If you've ever felt like you didn't belong, it's because you don't. You were made for something higher, to rise while the world sleeps. Let's be honest, we've had chances. Hundreds of them, prophets, pastors, and podcasts, warning us about what were coming, but most ignored the signs. They wanted a gentle gospel, not a God of war. But now, Heaven's throne has issued the final command. No more warnings. No more delay. It's time. Think about it. When was the last time you felt peace scrolling social media? When did the world last feel whole? Everything is screaming collapse. Economies, governments, marriages, even minds. That's not chaos. That's a divine alarm. The delay has ended. God's not waiting for the world to fix itself. He's calling his remnant to rise. So stop praying for more time. Stop preparing for the moment. Because when God ends the delay, destinies are decided. Either you become who you were born to be, or you lose the window forever. This isn't dramatic. It's prophetic. You are here right now because heaven chose you to act, not hesitate. Let me tell you the truth. You won't hear in most pulpits. If you don't choose light, you've already chosen darkness. There's no such thing as a neutral soul in this war. You don't get to be chill in the face of evil. Silence is not spiritual, it's surrender. Imagine being in a burning building and deciding not to run, not to scream, not even to warn someone, just to stay neutral. That's what most believers are doing in this hour. They're watching the collapse and saying nothing, doing nothing, choosing comfort while truth bleeds in the street. That's not peacekeeping. That's betrayal. God doesn't need more nice people, he needs dangerous ones, bold, bright, immovable. You're either burning with truth or you're cooling into compromise. There is no in between. Choose not tomorrow. Now, because heaven knows your name and hell fears your decision. You've been told all your life that your choices matter, but now your choices echo in eternity. This isn't a practice run. This is it. The real war souls is being weighed. Angels are moving. Demons are scrambling, and you're holding a spiritual sword, whether you know it or not. You're not just choosing a lifestyle, you're choosing a kingdom. The enemy isn't scared of people who post scriptures. He's scared of people who live them. People who walk into work like warriors, raise their kids like prophets, pray like generals, and speak like fire. That's you, or at least, that's who you're called to become. And let's be real, your eternity isn't the only one on the line. Your friends, your family, your future kids, your calling. Everything hangs on this moment. This isn't a test you can retake. This is your time to either rise into divine fire or disappear into the gray fog of the world. Eternity has no This war didn't start in politics. It started the day truth was traded for comfort, when humanity said, "I'd rather be happy than holy." When people stopped asking, "Is this right?" and started asking, "Does this feel well?" That shift opened a spiritual chasm, and darkness ran in like a flood. We let lies become laws. We let feelings replace facts. Now, truth is offensive, and deception is celebrated, but truth doesn't change because the world votes on it. Truth has a name, it's not trending, it's eternal, and every time you speak it, live it, or fight for it, you're striking a blow against hell itself. The war began when we forgot who we were and who our God is. But now, the tables are turning. God is raising up a remnant, those who love truth more than comfort, which would rather be hated and holy than popular and lost. You are that remnant. It's your time to reverse the rebellion with every breath you have. This war isn't being fought in a desert or some distant political chamber. It's happening in your mind, your heart, and your habits, even in your phone. The battlefield isn't out there, it's in here. Every time you wake up and choose faith over fear, truth over trends, obedience over opinion, you've just won a battle most never see. The real war is invisible, but its effects are not. Look around: the anxiety epidemic, the addiction to validation, the confusion over identity. Those are spiritual casualties, not psychological quirks. The enemy doesn't need to kill you, he just needs to distract you, to keep you scrolling instead of praying, arguing instead of discerning, consuming content instead of becoming consecrated. His battlefield is your feed. His weapon is distraction. His target your divine attention, because he knows if you ever wake up and lock in, hell doesn't stand a chance. That's why the pressure in your life feels personal, because it is. God is now unveiling the battlefield. He's showing his chosen ones what's really going on. That's why your anxiety got worse when you got closer to your purpose. That's why relationships started crumbling the moment you tried to level up. It wasn't coincidence, it was combat. You were attacked because you're a threat, and now that you see it, you've got a choice: retreat or wage war from within. You weren't born by accident. You weren't placed in this generation by random chance. You didn't go through all that pain, loss, and confusion for nothing. God marked you. You've always felt different. You never quite fit in. You had questions others were afraid to ask. You've carried a weight your peers didn't see. That wasn't weird. That was holy. The mark of the chosen was on you from the beginning. Think about it. The things that broke others didn't break you. The depression that should have ended you only deepened your fire. You've been through battles most people will never know, but somehow, you're still here, still standing, still sensing something bigger, calling your name. That's not just survival. That's divine selection. God preserved you because your voice, your vision, your soul are part of heaven's strategy. Chosen ones are never the loudest, they're the deepest. They feel things others ignore. They carry burdens others deny, but that intensity, it's preparation. Because in this hour, God is raising the few who have been in the fire and making them flames. You are that fire. Not perfect, but called. Not famous, but marked. You were born for this hour, and heaven's depending on you to show up. There is a collapse coming, not just financial or political. No, this collapse is spiritual. The systems that built this world are trembling, and you can feel it. Banks are shaking. Truth is under assault. Morality is evaporating, and the average person, clueless, but you sense the coming storm. That's because God gives early warning to his warriors. He lets his chosen feel it first, so they can prepare first. But preparation isn't about stocking up on canned goods or moving to the mountains. It's about becoming spiritually unshakable. It's about fixing your foundation. Now cut the distractions, clear the sin, confront the cycles, because when the storm hits, the ones who stand won't be the richest, they'll be the rooted, the ones who walk in purity, the ones who actually spend time in the secret place, the ones who train their spirit, while others were numbing theirs. If you've been sensing urgency, it's not paranoia, it's prophetic alignment. God isn't calling you to fear, he's calling you to readiness. That means you don't wait for the collapse to get serious. You get serious now, and when the collapse comes, you become the shelter for others. Chosen one, the time for passive Christianity is over. This is the hour to lock in, clean house, and armor up. This isn't a battle you win by being nice. This is a battle you win by being dangerous to darkness. That means it's time to suit up. Ephesians 6 wasn't a suggestion, it's a survival manual. You've got to put on the belt of truth when everyone else is living in lies. You've got to wear the breastplate of righteousness when compromise is trending. You need the sword of the Spirit, not just cute quotes. Because your soul is the weapon, and your life is the war zone. You wouldn't walk into a gang war wearing flip-flops, so why would you walk into this world without prayer, without scripture, without discernment? You can't just wing it spiritually anymore. That laziness, it's lethal now. The devil isn't playing games, and neither can you. Every time you walk into your job, your school, your home, you are either dominating spiritually or being dominated. There is no neutral ground, but here's the good news. You were built for this. The armor of God wasn't made for celebrities or theologians. It was made for you, for the parent praying over their kids, for the young adult fighting silent battles, for the unseen warrior who worships in private. This armor isn't theoretical, it's eternal tech forged in heaven's fire. Strap up, lock in. Your soul is loaded, and the war is on your doorstep. Here's the raw truth. If you don't rise, you'll disappear. This world has no place for passive believers anymore. Either you stand up, or you get swallowed. Either you step into your mantle, or you fade into the gray. Those are the only two options now. Vanish or fight, and make no mistake, the enemy hopes you vanish. Because he fears what you become if you ever fully activate. Vanish means becoming invisible in spirit. It means being alive, but ineffective. That's what happens when you have a platform, but no power. When you go to church, but carry no flame. Believers who blend in, lose their edge, their voice, their presence, but you're not called to fit in. You're called to ignite. You are either fire or you're fading, and if you don't resist the fade, it will steal your very soul. Something's shifting. You can feel it in your spirit. The veil between the seen and unseen is thinning. What used to be hidden is being exposed. Secrets are surfacing. Darkness is being dragged into the light. Heaven isn't whispering anymore, it's roaring. The question is, will you enter in, or will you be left outside, looking in, wondering, what happened? This is your moment to step beyond the surface. No more shallow faith. No more Sunday-only spirituality. God is opening realms of revelation, discernment, and power, but only those willing to press in will access it. That means turning off distractions. That means listening while everyone else is laughing. It means letting go of people who dull your spirit and clinging to what sharpens your calling. The veil is breaking, but not everyone will cross over. The invitation is open, but the price is high. You have to leave your comfort. You have to leave your excuses. You have to leave the crowd. Because the chosen aren't called to the familiar. They're called to step into the holy, while others stay in the hype. Don't miss your hour of visitation when the veil tears enter, or you'll watch the glory fall and realize it passed over you. Let's be honest, walking this path won't win you popularity. In fact, one of the first signs you're truly chosen is that you feel alone. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're being set apart. That aches in your soul when others don't understand you. That's the cost of carrying a mantle most people will never recognize until it's too late. Look at scripture. Every single warrior God used was first isolated. Moses in the desert, David in the fields, Esther in the palace, Jesus in the wilderness. Isolation isn't punishment. It's preparation. It strips you of codependency. It forces your roots to go deeper. It builds your hearing, your vision, your inner strength. You're not being left behind. You're being pulled ahead. So if you've lost friends, if your phone's gone quiet, if your circle's shrinking, don't panic. Heaven's just clearing the room for what's coming next. Some people can't go where you're going. Some voices can't stay in the room where your anointing is about to speak. Don't chase those who left. They were part of your story, not your destiny. Embrace the isolation. It's the proof that you're about to emerge transformed. This battle isn't just outside of you. It's inside. The most dangerous demons aren't around you. They're the ones you've tolerated within. That bitterness you refuse to forgive. That lust you keep feeding. That pride you keep excusing. Those aren't just bad habits, they're open doors to hell. And if you don't purge them, they'll possess you slowly, subtly, and eventually, completely. You can't cast out what you're still entertaining. You can't walk in freedom while babysitting the very thing that wants your soul. This is why your prayers feel blocked. This is why your peace keeps leaking. Because you're trying to carry holy fire in a heart that still makes room for darkness. And I say this in love. You can't flirt with the enemy and expect to win God's war. The purge is necessary, and yes, it's painful. But freedom always costs more than bondage. It's time to confront your inner enemy. Not just the visible sins, but the hidden ones: offense, comparison, insecurity, secret pride. Lay it all on the altar, burn it, starve it. Let it scream, but don't let it stay, because if you don't kill it, it will kill your purpose. You were made to host glory, not compromise. Out of billions of people walking this earth, God chose you, not because you're better, but because you're willing. Willing to see what others won't, willing to go where others stop, willing to carry what others drop. You are the 0.001%, the rare ones who still weep at His presence, who still tremble at His word, that still burn for what is holy. But with that calling comes a warning. If you don't act like it, you will lose it. The chosen must live differently. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Your time isn't your own anymore. Your words carry weight now. Your movements echo in the spirit. You can't entertain what others entertain. You can't walk like the world and carry heaven at the same time. Being the 0.001% means you lead, not follow. You build when others tear down. You speak when others stay silent. You run when others sleep. This is the moment to rise into what heaven saw in you all along. That dream you've been hiding. That fire you keep dimming. Let it explode. There's no more time to shrink. No more time to settle. If you've ever wondered why you didn't fit in, it's because you weren't made to. You were made to lead, a remnant. So act like it. Live like it, or watch the fire pass to someone else. This is it, the final activation. No more warnings. No more subtle signs. This is not another inspiring message. This is a divine command. God is issuing a last call to His chosen ones. Step into your mantle now, because what's coming won't wait for your hesitation. Heaven is moving, and either you move with it, or you'll miss it completely. Activation isn't emotional. It's intentional. It's what happens when you stop playing small. Stop delaying obedience, and start walking like you actually believe. The Holy Spirit lives in you. This is the moment where your destiny stops being a possibility and starts becoming a reality. But it only happens if you say yes fully, not halfway, not maybe tomorrow. Now, with your entire mind, heart, and will, there will be no second wave of opportunity. You've been warned. You've been equipped. You've been prepared in secret. And now it's time to step onto the battlefield with fire in your bones, to prophesy without fear, to create what heaven gives you, to love with ferocity, to pray like thunder, to live like your life shakes nations. Chosen one, this is your last call. Answer it, or lose everything you were born to carry. God is not looking for more followers of comfort. He's raising up warriors who bleed conviction. In this generation of easy gospel, instant gratification, and self-centered spirituality, heaven is making a call that cuts deeper than church attendance. Will you fight for truth when it costs you everything? The comfort seekers won't survive what's coming. But the kingdom was never about comfort. It's about conquest. And only the brave will answer. If your idea of following God is avoiding confrontation, being liked by everyone, or maintaining a balanced life, you're already disqualified from the front lines. Read your Bible. It's full of warriors, exiles, rejects, and radicals. Why? Because real faith shakes foundations. Real faith offends systems. Real faith isn't safe, it's dangerous to darkness. The chosen aren't invited to a spa. They're enlisted in a spiritual war. You weren't born to blend in, you were born to break cycles, tear down strongholds, and release captives. And none of that happens from a place of convenience. It takes blood, it takes sweat, it takes isolation, it takes fire. So if your spiritual life has been about avoiding pain and chasing peace without warfare, you're missing the point. This isn't about what feels good. This is about what wins souls and destroys hell's agenda. Heaven isn't sending angels to do your job. It's sending a call. And God is asking, will you abandon comfort to carry glory? Because the mantle you're meant to wear will burn your flesh before it blesses your name. But if you're brave enough to say yes, you won't just witness revival, you'll become the fire that sparks it. We've glamorized excuses. I'm not ready. I'm still healing. Maybe later. But in the spirit realm, every excuse costs lives. While you wait for the perfect moment to obey God, someone else stays bound. While you delay your calling, someone drowns in deception. Your obedience isn't just about your purpose, it's someone else's rescue plan. This isn't hyperbole. This is divine accountability. Imagine if David said, I'm not ready to face Goliath yet. Imagine if Esther said, let someone else go before the king. Your calling doesn't wait for you to feel prepared. It moves on to someone else if you stay silent long enough. And chosen one, God did not give you these revelations, these battles, this discernment, for you to sit on them. Your delay is deadly. Your voice was created to be the lifeline for others. So when you say, "I'm not qualified," God says, "I qualified you the moment I called you." When you say, "I'm scared," He says, "Then fight scared, but fight." When you say, "I'm not like them," He says, "Exactly, you're set apart." The kingdom doesn't need another safe Christian. It needs a dangerous disciple, one who shows up even when they don't feel ready, because obedience has no emotion, only urgency. You're not being asked to be perfect. You're being asked to say yes. And every time you say no, someone else stays in the pit longer than they were supposed to. Get up, step out, stop making it about you. Your calling is bigger than your feelings. It's time to rise for someone else's freedom. Let me say this loud and clear. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. The fire you're walking through isn't because God is angry, it's because He's building someone the enemy can't intimidate the pain. It's training the delay. It's refining the rejection. It's divine insulation. Stop misreading your wilderness. It's not abandonment, it's activation. Think about it. Diamonds don't form in safe spaces. Warriors aren't trained on playgrounds. Prophets aren't shaped by applause. What you've endured was never meant to break you. It was meant to build muscle into your spirit, that betrayal. It taught you discernment, that loss. It taught you endurance, that silence. It taught you to hear His voice above the noise. The problem is, you thought the fire was a sign you did something wrong, but it was actually confirmation that you were becoming someone right. Satan doesn't attack people with no destiny. He attacks those who are close to spiritual combustion. That's why all hell broke loose when you finally started praying again. That's why you felt isolated when you started fasting, because something holy is forming and hell knows it. So stop asking God to take away the process. Ask Him to finish it quickly and thoroughly, because when you come out of this, you won't just have a testimony. You'll have power. You'll walk different, speak different, pray different. You'll be the kind of believer who makes demons panic when you wake up. That's what this fire is creating. Let's be clear, spiritual authority is not cheap. It doesn't come from position, popularity, or Instagram followers. It comes from warfare and surrender. Real authority is earned in the secret place, forged in fire, and baptized in obedience. That's why most people don't have it. They want the influence, not the intimacy that costs. You can't fake authority. Hell knows who carries it. That's why some people pray and nothing shifts, because their words don't carry weight. They've never bled for what they speak, but the chosen ones they've paid in tears, in groaning, in lonely nights and broken seasons. And now, when you speak, atmospheres tremble, not because of eloquence, but because of evidence. You gain authority every time you say yes when it hurts, every time you obey without a crowd, every time you fight your own demons and come out holding someone else's keys. This is why your season has felt so intense, because God is entrusting you with territory. But you don't get to rule over what you haven't suffered through. If you've been asking for more authority, know this: God won't give you what you haven't endured for. He's not looking for performers. He's looking for people who've lived what they preach. You're not going through hell just to survive. You're going through it to come back with fire in your hands and keys in your mouth. You've been walking around thinking you're insignificant, wondering if your prayers matter. But let me tell you something that hell already knows: you are dangerous. Demons recognize your authority before you do. That's why they've been attacking your mind, your finances, your family, your focus. They're trying to stop you from discovering who you really are, because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. Spiritual warfare isn't random, it's strategic. The enemy studies patterns. He sees your potential. He hears your name echoing in heaven. And his worst fear is that one day you'll stop doubting and start walking in divine boldness. That you'll wake up and realize you've had authority this whole time. You just didn't use it. That's why hell's been trying to bury you in insecurity, distractions, and addiction, because your voice, when aligned with truth, has the power to shake atmospheres. Your worship isn't cute, it's catastrophic to darkness. Your obedience isn't basic, it's nuclear in the spirit. You're not just another Christian, you're an atomic weapon wrapped in flesh. It's time you stop living like a victim and start moving like a threat. Hell already knows who you are. Heaven already stamped your name. Now, the only one left to realize it is you. Heaven has never stopped speaking, we just stopped listening. The noise of this generation is deafening. Scrolls, pings, reels, arguments, anxiety, all competing with the still, small voice of God, and most believers mistake silence for absence, but God hasn't gone quiet. He's just waiting for you to get still enough to hear Him whisper. He doesn't scream over chaos. He commands through peace. We beg God for direction, for clarity, for answers, and then run back into distraction before he responds. But instruction comes to those who wait, not to those who hurry. Revelation isn't a drive-through order, it's a divine download that comes through stillness, discipline, and surrender. If you don't learn to quiet your environment, you'll misinterpret your assignment. Jesus often withdrew to desolate places, not because he was antisocial, but because the throne room doesn't compete for attention. If Jesus needed solitude to receive divine strategy, so do you. Some of you are stuck not because you're unworthy, but because you're too loud inside to receive new orders. Stillness is spiritual warfare now. Focus is obedience. God is speaking right now over your life, over your calling, over your children, but his voice isn't in the earthquake or the fire. It's in the whisper that follows stillness. If you want to hear what's next, sit down, shut out the world, and lean in. The chosen ones move from what they hear in silence, not from what they feel in noise. You feel off course, unseen, forgotten, maybe even like you missed it, but let me tell you the truth, you're not lost. You're in a divine reroute. God hasn't abandoned you. He's simply detouring you around things that would have destroyed you if he had let you continue on your terms. Every delay, every detour, every door that didn't open, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. You asked for his will, and he took you seriously. That means he had to shut down opportunities that would have distracted your soul. He had to pause relationships that would have diluted your purpose. What feels like delay is actually precision. You're not behind. You're on heaven's perfect timeline. But the reroute doesn't feel good because it kills control. It forces surrender. God's not in a rush. He's in control. And if you let him lead this reroute, you'll look back and thank him for the road you hated. The pain you're in today will become the testimony that unlocks someone else's tomorrow. So instead of saying, "Why is this happening?" start asking, "What are you preparing me for?" Because reroutes are often the path to revelation. This is not the end. It's not even a detour, it's a reset, a holy recalibration. The GPS of heaven doesn't make mistakes. You are exactly where he needs you to be, even if you don't like it. Keep walking, keep trusting. Destiny is still in motion, and you're not lost. You're being aligned for greater impact than you can even see right now. Your identity has been under attack for a reason. It carries power. The enemy doesn't care about your clothes, your hobbies, or your personality. He cares about your spiritual DNA, that thing in you that terrifies hell, that seed in you that unlocks revival, that whisper in you that says you were born for more. That's what he's been trying to bury with confusion, with trauma, with comparison and compromise. The moment you forget who you are, you forfeit what you carry. That's why the war has been so intense.